We didn't hit go live. Oh, now we're live. Okay. We got to re-hit that button. Hi, folks. We're going to give you an intro, and we'll be back in just a second.
I'm in a groove state of mind. I'm moving all the time. No excuses and no blame. I'm stepping up my game. I'm a groove stew, yes I am. With groove I know I can. Read my master plan. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. Groove Nation inspires me to bust loose and break free. I'm dancing to my dreams, working at the scene. I'm feeling groovelicious. Groove knows who I am. 'Cause now is my time to have a groove state of mind. I'm grooving. I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving.
All right, everybody, we are live. Hi, it's Mike Filsaime. I'm here with John Cornetta, my business partner in groove.cm. And over here we have on your left, Joe Jablonski, also partnered in groove.cm, Groove Digital, and Tom Beal from MakeTodayGreat.com. I just learned that today. Tom, who lives here in Boca, likes to join us. So here's what we're going to do. We don't know the exact time, but we're going to be starting a podcast, or starting back our podcast. We don't have a name for it yet. We have about 2 or 3 that we're going to choose, whether it's the Groove podcast or the Groove Marketing, or we're going to come up with a cool name like Marketing Experiments. We don't know, but we're going to come up with a name over the next couple of weeks. Give us some ideas for a podcast name in the comments, and we're going to be doing a podcast as long as we're not traveling, or who knows, maybe. If we're traveling, there's other people in the team, like maybe Donna and David Lemon, or whatever the case may be, that will just pick up the podcast for us if it can't happen here from the studio.
We started these at your house.
Yeah, we used to do them. We used to pre-record them,
yeah,
and then upload them. We had to do all the editing, and we thought we were cool by putting our names and flashing. And we're going to be able to put all that stuff on these little buttons here as well. We got our new earpieces in, right, so that we can actually hear ourselves talking. And the format, it's probably, for the time, we're probably going to be starting every Thursday around noon. We're just going to go live inside of the Facebook group and on our YouTube channel. So you can always come back anytime after on Thursdays and watch the podcast. We haven't figured out the format yet. We're going to see what you guys like. We're going to try a couple of different formats. We will be doing either education or marketing or copywriting. As my earpiece falls out, we'll put that back in a minute. And or we might just do just more like Joe Rogan, Howard Stern guests, bringing people in, friends that we have, and just having very fly on the wall conversations, which is essentially what we're going to be doing today. While I get this earpiece back in here that decided to fight with me. All right, John, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing great, Mike. Couldn't be better, actually.
Oh boy.
One of my better days.
Yeah.
Serious.
Oh, awesome. Tom, how you doing, buddy?
Today is awesome. I was 49 years old yesterday, so the best year yet. My last lap in the 40s has begun, and here we are amongst friends and rocking the day. Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Tom.
Happy belated.
Didn't know that. And how old are you now, you said?
22.
22.
49 years old.
All right, it's one of those math problems. Take 22, double it, add 5.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And Joe, how are you today, buddy?
I'm doing awesome.
Coming in from where?
Jupiter, Florida.
How's the drive for you to get here?
It's about an hour without traffic. So
An hour without traffic.
It's about 55 minutes, but you get,
Yeah.
one thing can cause you 15 minutes.
Yeah. And I'm about 45 minutes north from here. Currently, I'm moving closer. And I was in my car going up to Cocoa Beach, where the live event's going to be. Whoops, should do a switch here. And I remember I felt like I was driving for like an hour from where I'm at. It said Jupiter, Florida, next 3 exits. And I was like, oh, man, Joe's kind of north up there. All right. So a little bit of current events news. I'm just going to look here, get the exact amount. We saw that MailChimp was recently acquired by Intuit, I believe. Let me see. MailChimp acquired. Let's pull that up and see what that says here. Top news. So they were acquired for $12 billion. Let's drag that over here. Mike, let's pop that into the stream if we can. So we see here expanding products and services. MailChimp co-founder on $12 billion Intuit acquisition. So this is the co-founder of MailChimp. This is a pretty exciting story, guys. I was looking into that. They never took any funding.
No.
Not a single dollar of funding. I wasn't aware of that because I remember in 2011 when they showed up on the stream, on the scene, they were all over. I thought, wow, this company must have just gotten some Silicon Valley funding because you couldn't avoid them. There was even an ad downtown in San Diego, a billboard ad on the top of a building of just the chimp.
I remember when they started because they started in Atlanta on Ponce de Leon Avenue. And I had a lawyer right across the street. And I saw these little offices. And it was, believe me, it wasn't like some big impressive thing to start with. And it's $12 billion.
Yeah, they actually started in 2003 as a different company that was having problems, a software company that was having problems sending email. So they looked into email and they decided to say, hey, we can offer this as a service. Email shouldn't be so complicated. But I was looking at the amount of customers they have, and this was last week, but they have a lot of customers, a lot of users. I was really surprised in the millions. I think it was something like 59 million, but you got to remember they use a freemium model too, so that could be a little misleading. But that shows you the potential for Groove, right? If there's 59 million people that need email, at least 75% of them, you could make a case would need a website, right? And probably do some type of marketing.
I think what might also help them was, I think they were one of the first to integrate with Shopify and really seamlessly.
Yeah.
So I'll bet you they picked up millions and millions of customers there as well. One of the factors.
Have you ever used MailChimp?
Yeah, I used them when I had a Shopify store back in the day, 2015, 16, 17. They made it really easy and seamless, and it just was really good. That you could retarget people based upon what they left in their shopping cart and what they didn't. Mm-hmm. And they made that e-commerce connection really.
MailChimp, your thoughts were to go in, set up a list.
Yeah, as a marketer, I couldn't use it. I was always too frustrated with it.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And
and what I mean by as a marketer, I mean as a digital marketer, emailing solo ads or anything like that, going for a project. But for e-commerce, it was great.
They decided to do something different. When you look at the jargon and the nomenclature that was available before it started with things like Aweber and GetResponse, it always comes off my tongue as Aweber and MailChimp. But what was the way that was, it was like lists, and leads and all these different things and sending a broadcast. And that was just the way that it was always done in everything. And it looks like MailChimp took an approach, and we didn't. We're still using the typical stuff, leads, lists, and send a broadcast, follow up, and sequences. But they just used regular terminology, like communicate with your people. And like they went away from calling things leads. I'm not even
contacts.
Sure I'm not even sure if maybe they use contacts, but I remember it being like, so I was looking for certain things and I was like, oh, here, this means that and that means that. But
do you think they got acquired because of the revenue or because of the 50-something million people they have access to?
Well, the interesting thing is who they got acquired by if we just take a step up, like why that company bought them. So the people that bought them is Intuit. And so Intuit owns a couple of interesting companies. Obviously, they own TurboTax and Quicken, which is, you can see why they want both. We'll do your accounting, and then we'll help you file. But they also own not the Cash App. It's what are some of the competitors of the Cash App?
Venmo?
No, I'll look it up in just a minute. You remember? Yeah, Michael, look it up for us. And you can find it on their Wikipedia page. But it's one of those Mint. I think it's Mint, actually. So they own that app, Mint, and they also own Credit Karma. So I'm trying to see where they're going. If they're starting with Intuit and Quicken makes sense. Mint, okay, it's a money app, and then they could try to start finding ways to tell, obviously, right, to tell you, hey, John, we notice in your account, right, because you have the online data, you can move your money seamlessly into the Mint account and start saving money, just kind of like how PayPal started reaching out to us. And they also have Credit Karma. Now, is that a data play? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, I don't know the revenue of MailChimp, so it's hard to say. I mean, part of it has to be based on revenue, but
I'll give you my Mint. Yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on like where they're going. I saw a YouTube video, like one of these CNBC type videos on Square, that company, and Square got a new CEO a couple of years ago, and they pivoted secretly underneath. Believe it or not, what they are is a financial lending company using Square as the front end to get people to say, hey, do you need small business loans? And so if you look at a company like Intuit that knows your tax problems and everything like that, you see it every time you log into PayPal, right? It tells you,
would you like a loan?
Would you like a loan, cash advance, all those different types of things. There's obviously a lot of money there. And I think that, Credit Karma is going to be some way that they could, tie in your profile to this, and then they'll be able to pre-score you. I'm just trying to connect some really broad dots here. But if they have you with a Credit Karma profile, and they're trying to do what Square is doing, and offering money to they basically have every single company in the world.
They know your finances, they know your taxes.
They can literally send you an approval. Like, sign here, you approve, the money will be in your bank tomorrow, because they don't need to run your credit report because you've attached it. And again, this is me just thinking, like, why would they want Credit Karma? But then that begs the question, why MailChimp? Where does...
Yeah, because there's 59 million people now to go through that automatically, they can go right to them and deliver directly in front of them on a login. Hey, we found a match for you for, X amount of dollars. These companies have so much money now. Only thing they can do is lend it back to people at high interest. I mean, the one from PayPal, it's interest free, but you're paying this huge premium. So,
and there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money going in. They put in $1.7 trillion bill and a 1.5. And I remember back in 2008 when the bailout, right? Like they were talking about $880 billion bailout, and like that number was like, and now they're just throwing around 3.5 trillion.
I know.
And I think I read recently that if they do the 3.5 trillion plus the other 3+ trillion that they put in, basically 80% of all money printed since the beginning of time would have been printed in the last 18 months.
Yet we must increase taxes. Of course, with all the trillions out there, we got to pump up the taxes. Anyhow, diversion.
Anyway, yeah, well, we did say we're gonna stay away from condemning current events on our podcast, but we'll certainly go there every now and then. So what we're seeing from personal experience, like I was talking with a real estate agent the other day, and John, you've experienced this, getting outbid 3 or 4 times. Joe, you were experiencing it when you were looking for your house. I was talking with a real estate agent the other day. He said, if you don't show up with cash, good luck. We'll sign a contract, and then 2 days later, a cash offer for 20 grand more is going to outbid you. And he says you got to get seriously pre-approved all this stuff, because investment companies are buying up. Like, that's where the next play is. They're buying up all of the current houses on the market, and then they're turning it into rentals. So what used to be the rental community of the buildings and lower income rent and stuff like that, they're actually going into now $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month rentals. Doesn't matter. They're buying it up and they're putting it on the market. And it's interesting because, bless you, because of, what's happening, obviously with COVID and credit, it's going to be taking a lot of people out of the market that will have money, but are no longer going to have the credit to get a mortgage. And so you're going to see a big shift there. So, but getting back to MailChimp, I wonder if they're just saying, hey, we're going to introduce another channel to, to the people that have all these businesses that use Quicken. Like, do you want to communicate with your customers? It's interesting. MailChimp for so much money though, 12 billion.
Yeah, like I think the play that you just mentioned last would be the least important play, right? Like, hey, let's add some more customers to MailChimp. It's so it doesn't float.
Yeah. So here's something that we've been saying for a long time here. People are saying, hey, are you guys built to last or built to flip? Like, are we building a company like maybe a 23-year-old would build something and say our goal is to get acquired by PayPal? Like there's a lot of technology companies that have done AI and they've done voice recognition over the years, and the play was to get bought out by Google and PayPal. And we've always said no, absolutely not. We're not looking to sell. We wouldn't sell right now for 100 million or 150 million. David Lemon asked me the other day when he saw the number of $12 billion. He said, Mike, if you were offered $12 billion, would you sell? And like,
Sold.
It took me 5 minutes to answer the question of hell yeah. What are you kidding me?
Sold.
Would I want to stay on? So, but basically my answer was this. After a certain point, you have more money than you could ever dream. It would 1 billion, 2 billion, 12 billion. Like at a certain point, nobody says no to that kind of money. My answer was, I'd love to look at it the way Dana White was with the UFC. Dana White loves the UFC. He cannot live without it. It's really who he is, and he'd be bored out of his mind not being part of it. So Dana got bought out, made $350 million on the $4.5 billion deal. And he made a deal to stay on as the CEO, probably making $50 million a year, and got to do what he loves. So most likely, dream scenario, right? If something like that were ever to happen to us, I'd still love to be part of Groove, even if it got bought out. But for $12 billion, I'm sorry.
What do I say?
Let's be realistic. Yeah.
We have the authority to smack you upside the head if you ever start like, I don't know, maybe no, 12 million, Mike. You'll accept that?
Billion.
12 billion,
Yeah.
billion, yes.
Yeah. So let's just take a look at what happened since April. Remember, our friends over at Kajabi got bought out for $2 billion. Now, when you look at that, I look at certain things that I think Shell just sold their assets the other day for $4 billion. I'm like, Kajabi is worth half of Shell.
And
right?
and MailChimp is worth 5 times as Kajabi.
Wow. Right. And Active Campaign got a $3 billion valuation. ClickUp got a valuation, I think, of 150 million and got investment money. And so I think it comes back to all this money that's going in the marketplace. And I think there's a difference between 1998 and 1999 when there was the .com bubble. Back then, they were just throwing their money at anything, any idea. I think now they're saying, okay, there's a couple of different things. I think there's 3 things they look at, right? Or the fourth is, how does it fit into our portfolio? But the other 3 things is obviously growth, the intellectual property itself, like what purpose does it serve? And the number of users, the revenue, the growth in terms of users, the revenue.
I think the users outpace their decision as far as revenue. Revenue isn't as important, in my opinion, as the number of people. Think about it. Facebook, they had no revenue source until the advertising came in.
But that was the old school,
right?
Yeah. What they're doing now is they're looking to check the box with revenue. again, unless it's like an IP company that Google and Facebook are acquiring because they can plug it into the iPhone, and it was a research and development company that spent 14-15 million dollars just investing. But in terms of and from what I understand of the people that I've been talking to, they've been saying that your financial statement is important. They want to be able to start returning, because you got to remember who's buying these companies now. You're not being acquired for your technology. In the case of Intuit, it is, but in many cases, it's companies that are putting together cash portfolios. They're these funds that are coming together of billionaires, and they're just saying, let's create. So just so you know, we got an offer the other day. Somebody just hit us up and said, hey, we'd like to acquire Groove Digital. And I went to their website, and from what I could tell, they wanted to acquire us for somewhere between 25 million, somewhere around there. So I just responded, with something that we're not looking to be acquired. We think we have $150 million valuation right now. And obviously, if you have questions on why, I'll show you why. But we are building, we said we're building $1 billion company. And so I said the only thing we would entertain possibly would be investment for Series A at $150 million valuation, not selling off more than 10% to 15%. So meaning, if you want to write a check for 15 million, you can have 10% of the company. We'll consider that. We will, in quotes, I put that, consider. And then immediately got a reply back. Nope.
I'm out.
Yeah, basically, we're
only are interested in whole acquisitions.
Yeah. Let me talk to you about another thing that's happening in Brazil with Hotmart. Hotmart is now a $1 billion company. You could call them the ClickBank of Brazil, but they're making acquisitions left and right and left and right. I wouldn't be surprised one day if they acquire ClickBank, because they have so much money behind them. And so, Rodrigo keeps saying to me, Mike, one day Hotmart is going to come knocking. He said they acquired a page builder, but it's crap. And they acquired an email company, these little Brazilian companies. And he said there's, talk going around that they're going to see us as a threat. And I said, well, when that day comes, they could show up with a check, but we're not looking to sell unless they've got numbers in the billions, but small investments, 10%, we could do a lot with $15 million in stupid money, just getting every YouTube in the channel every YouTube channel in the world saying, like they say now, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Yeah, exactly. Having, that type of money just to be everywhere would be pretty interesting.
Heading out, just want to say bye. Thanks for having me here. I look forward to upcoming times spent with all of you. But in the meantime, we got Brian filling in as well. So
before you go,
yes,
I wanted to ask you about GrooveCon. Are you going to be doing emceeing? Did we talk about that?
we're gonna have to chat about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Tom was literally saying this. We're going to have to chat about that. I got to get paid. All right, and we're going to be bringing in Brian Bagnall, who was actually in our Groovathon about two weeks ago, right, Brian? How are you?
Good, man. A lot of that advice helped me out a lot. So we increased that, we bumped that conversion by 4%. So
never even spoke to you about that. Oh, a 4% conversion?
yeah, so it was 10 and now it's 14. So.
Okay. Oh, but actually, that's not a 4% increase in conversion. That's actually a 40% increase in conversion.
Yeah, true. Overall.
Yeah, right. Because 4 is 40% of 10. So, but people don't always look at that, right? Yeah. So just to give you an example, let's say your conversion rate for a $50,000 product was at 0.5% conversion. That's friggin' insane. Wow, one out of every 200 is buying that, right? And if we were able to get you from 0.5 to 1%, in contact saying, yeah, you increased our conversion by 0.5. No, it's actually, you doubled the conversion. So a 40% lift there. You're buying lunch today.
The Mike Filsaime magic.
So
what was it?
So what Brian does is real interesting. Brian has a real business. I don't mean that anything that we do isn't real, but he has a business that's extremely complex. what they do is they find, and Brian, you can tell me, why don't you tell it? It's your company, and we'll hear it directly from you. We got you right here.
So basically, I buy properties from folks that not necessarily that are distressed or whatever, but just people that need to sell, right? And I typically try to negotiate some financing in there, whether we're taking over loans or they're doing some owner financing or what have you, and then I turn around and sell to people that can't qualify for a loan conventionally, which about 70% of Americans can't. So we kind of look for like the entrepreneurs and that kind of stuff that kind of tough to prove income, and we sell to them. So yeah, the funnel is basically sellers, but actually I came up with a cooler funnel since the one you saw is it's in development now, where we're gonna give an offer right on the screen and a contract right on the screen. So they can literally go to the site, type in info about their property, and in 2-3 minutes have a contract pop up on their screen. So that's in development though. So
yeah, so basically Brian's like, Brian, what did you say a deal is worth to you when it closes?
50. Yeah. Well, 50,000 over the course of, a couple of years. I get like 40% now, 40%.
So it's worth about $20,000 upfront. You'll get 20,000. And then over the next 4 to 5 years, you get the other 30 grand.
Yeah. I get 20% monthly and then 40% at the end of like 2 to 3 years.
Oh, 2 to 3 years. Yeah. So that's pretty strong. And Brian's doing a number of these a month, over 10.
Wow.
And
well, you were just talking about the real estate market. I had a property yesterday that we had 2 people. One had $40,000 down and one had $100,000 down. And obviously the $100,000 one won, but the guy with the $40,000 was in tears over not getting this property. Like, it's crazy. So
yeah, it's crazy. So what's your new funnel you said you're doing?
Is they will get an offer and a contract on their computer screen within like 3 minutes.
Oh, so they just have to input a little bit of data. Like just put this here and look, at the end of the day, it still needs to be vetted, right? I mean,
sure.
Yeah. So, but that's an offer for marketing. When I was, everybody knows what's going on right now with the new car market, which is also affecting the used car market. There's a chip shortage in the world, and no cars are being delivered to dealers. So it's literally the best time in the world to be in the car business, because everything's selling at $1,000 to $3,000 over sticker for the brown Toyota Corolla 5-speed, that been on the lot and nobody wants to buy it. Now people are racing. It's the same thing as the housing market. And because of that, the used car market is now up. And my Honda Accord lease, after 3 years, the buyout was $19,800. My original reaction was $19,800. That's ridiculous. I mean, this car is not worth $19,800. So I went to kellybluebook.com, and sure enough, the car was worth $26,500. If I sell it myself, $24,800 on trade-in and all this, and Kelly Blue Book and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, and I'm putting in very good, not excellent condition, all that stuff. And so they had something that says, we'll buy your car, like one of those type of offers. And I said, all right, let me put this in. And I got a certified offer for $5,000 over my lease buyout price from a Boca Raton Honda dealer. And so I said, I'm buying this car. I didn't have the intention to buy it. So I said, wow, I mean, that's pretty incredible right there. I didn't realize. And at first I'm screaming like, I'm going to negotiate this with them. This thing's probably worth 17. I was really surprised at those numbers.
Yeah.
All right. So getting back to valuations and all the money in the economy, I've been saying to you and John, you and Matt, in like little Skype things like this, that if the timing is right, strike while the iron is hot, it might be the time to at least talk to somebody, because the pride, having too much pride about saying we don't need funding. There's a lot of, like, if you look at any single billionaire that owns a what do you call those incubators, right? That owns an incubator. They might have like 15, 16 deals that are going on. This guy has the money to fund everything. But what does he do? He takes them to Silicon Valley and he gets them funding and valuation and gets advisors and board of directors and these people that know how to build companies. And there's pros and cons. We always talk about having control and the freedom and all these different things. But you can't brush over the fact that Kajabi got Mark Cuban as an investor. And I would probably say that was probably the smartest thing they did. They tried, and guys at Kajabi, if I got this wrong, this is what I remember, and so it could be wrong, but it was something like this. They wanted to get on Shark Tank, and they couldn't. And so they reached out to Mark Cuban, and those sites like Cameo. Well, there was it was kind of like this Guru.com site. I forget what it was, and like you could, everybody was on there. And Richard Branson, I could get him for an hour for $100,000, whatever it was. Like Mark Cuban was actually there, and if you could get him for like 15 minutes for like $8,000 or whatever it was, right? And so they booked time with Mark Cuban. Cut to the chase, Cuban invested in the company, and Kajabi just got a $2 billion valuation, and that's even if you look at like ClickFunnels, Russell's pride of saying, hey, we're this, but like what would happen if Russell got $100 million, then $500 million on Series 2, and then got a $10 billion valuation and raised, $900 million or $1.2 billion, and still was able to keep 50% of the company. And that type of money, you're not buying it to get wealthy, you're buying it to make acquisitions and growth and bring on proper other people in the company that can help run and scale it. So not trying to get ahead of ourselves here, but we're seeing, when you see numbers like $12 billion from MailChimp, here's what we say. MailChimp is GrooveMail. Active Campaign is GrooveMail. Kajabi is GrooveMember. We've got big plans and big dreams. You have GrooveCard is Shopify. All these companies are billion-dollar companies. And I believe in my heart that when the world knows who we are, which is probably what we're going to talk about the second half of this podcast, is that we will be one of those companies. But what do all of those companies, have in common? Is some tie back to Silicon Valley,
Except them.
Well, even at the end, even at the end, they finally
Right, at the end.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That when the big money comes, it came from Silicon Valley.
So I saw this on Facebook just yesterday or 2 days ago. So
And it has to be. It has to be.
It
true.
has to be true. Absolutely. It's probably more true than mainstream media. But anyways, ClickFunnels, it's out there that ClickFunnels got $1 billion offer. I don't know if that's true. Hell if I know. But
I heard that a couple of years ago.
No. A couple of years ago, they got a $250 million offer from Salesforce, and turned it down, rightfully so. I think if you're doing 100 million in revenue, I don't think you sell for 250 million. No. I think ClickFunnels is $1 billion company easily. If Kajabi is 2 billion, argue that fact for me, that that ClickFunnels isn't worth half, right? So where did you see that, Brian?
It was just on some thread, and some other people backed it up. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
no, that's fantastic news. Were they offered, or what
that was the thing? They turned it down. That's what they said.
All right, so that brings up a question, John. Just and don't worry. This is just we're having fun here. Like these are the conversations we wanted to do, a fly on the wall conversation for you guys to see. What do we talk like? And again, this is a format. Next week it might be training. We might be talking about headlines, or we might have guests on, and we'll be doing it more interview style and bringing anybody that's in the area. Like it'll just be focused 100% on Brian Bagnall and talk about your business, just like Joe Rogan. We're going to be playing with different formats. So let me answer the question first out of fairness to you, John. I've always said that we wouldn't sell, we don't want to sell this company. We want to this the same way Steve Jobs wouldn't sell Apple if you came in and you offered him 10 billion. Like he'd be like, well, what the hell am I going to do with my life over 50 years old, right? I think Steve was your age when he passed away, right?
He was younger.
Yeah. So, we can put that into perspective. And Steve already had wealth. We got to remember that. Steve sold Pixar to Disney and, made billions on that, and was one of the largest shareholders of Disney because of the stock that they gave him. So he really didn't need to get bought out again. We certainly haven't gotten, quote, set for life. Obviously, people can do some math, right? There's you, me, and Matt are the majority owners of the company. Joe, Donna, and Ruth are also owners in the company, but let's just throw the number around at a third, just for even math for everybody. It's easy for me to say that, well, I want to build something bigger, but I know that if you, me, and Matt were there and saying they're writing us a check for $1 billion, we're not allowed to stay in the company. They want their own people to run it. And Mike, that means $330 million for you. I know that there would be a certain point where I would have to say, stop for a second and envision what $330 million looks like on this table in cash. And what does that mean and everything like that. My heart and soul still says that I'm going to fight to let them buy into the company and let me continue to own 10% and still ask to be the CEO with a 7-year contract or something like that. But if they said no, I have to say, if Russell turned down $1 billion, I'm proud of him for that because he's seeing a bigger picture. And these are the conversations I think that are like somebody offered to buy us out, and we said no. You can buy 10% at this number, right? And so, John, what would you do? And let's say this: we don't all have to sell. Like, let's say you decided to sell and Matt decided to sell, and I said no, I'm gonna keep my shares and they can buy your shares, but you'd get 330 million.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot of FOMO. I've worked on that. It's something you really have to work on, right? Like, okay, well, if I do take this and then Mike's going to stay in and Mike's is worth 10 times that in 5 years, I'm going to be, oh man, I missed out on that. I think I mean, I don't know. You kind of got me on the spot, but $1 billion is a lot of money.
I know.
It's a lot of money.
And I don't want to lie to anybody. Like when I have made commitments here that would be here forever and everything like that. We're throwing around these things, but like you said, when it's $1 billion and it's $330 million, 330 million,
you could make easily, I could, $33 to $35 million a year in interest on that money easily, securely, safely, and hand that down for generations and make 35
you don't have to
million
retire. You'd be able to
Right.
say, hey, I want to do another startup here, or start your own incubator, or whatever.
Yeah.
Build houses in Haiti, right?
Right.
There's a lot of different things that can be done.
But
Again,
maybe that's not the number. The
Yeah.
number is 1.5.
and of course, we're putting the cart way before
yeah.
the horse. I think we're talking about this because of the faith that we know what we have with this platform. We're going to get the best testimonial in the world from Mark Ling, who's doing a $5 million launch on our platform. And like, he's already, like, if I just screenshot everything he said, he said after this launch, he's going to give us the best testimonial, best platform he's ever used. I'm saying, I'm so impressed with what you did. It's made my life so easy. I'm surprised more people don't know about this. And, so pretty interesting. All right, moving on topics here. All right. We're going to talk a little bit more marketing strategy here for something that we're going to be doing. We looked at an automated webinar, or a webinar presentation by Alaric Heck. Alaric is probably the number one YouTube paid video marketing expert in the world. And he's been doing YouTube now for 11 years. He's been doing it since he was 13 years old. And he speaks at War Room. Every time they have a War Room, he's one of the featured guests, and he's one of the most well-respected people there. And our good friend Rich Sheffrin, who we do Steal Our Winners Groove Edition, has had him on 4 times, and it's one of the most popular episodes. And we are going to be making a switch. We're putting 100% of our advertising budget is moving away from Facebook into YouTube ads. So your thoughts on that, John?
I like the fact that we're going to a little bit more of a search customer as opposed to an interest customer. And the differences are profound. I'm interested in Italian food and I'm interested in lobster, but I'm looking for a lobster right now. Yeah. It's a little different.
Yeah, when you look at what Facebook is, it's not search intent, it's targeting people. And so I'm going to deliberately get something, might sound a little morbid or whatever the case is, but I want to be able to explain how some businesses can't survive on Facebook. a funeral home. You can't advertise a funeral home on Facebook. Like, what are you going to search people that are into death, right? There's no way that you could find anybody there. However, Google AdWords, you got to look at pay-per-click a little bit different, right? When somebody is searching for something, they have an immediate need. We just had one the other day. I was working with our friend Sharon Worsley, and she said, I can't figure out how to activate my Stripe account. And I said, oh, you simply just go in and you connect your bank, and they changed the user interface, and I couldn't find it. For 20 minutes, I couldn't find it. So what did I do? I went to YouTube and I searched how to, what's the matter, Joe?
No, I hit the mic. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
How to connect your bank to Stripe. And as I did that, an ad came up for a merchant processor.
Another one.
Another merchant processor. So you gotta start thinking the difference here. And so for plumbers, contractors, all that type of stuff, my pipe is leaking. I just need somebody here right now to fix it. You can't use Facebook for that. It's not that case. Now,
Right.
for Groove, I wonder if I should go to the whiteboard. I think I'm gonna go, Mike, can I go to the whiteboard? Yeah. All right. And how are we doing on time? All righty. So let's take a look at YouTube. Can you guys hear me? You guys hear me in your earpieces? Oh, you wouldn't know, but I'm sure they could hear me. If not, they'll let us know. All right. So here's YouTube. Here's your video, right? And here's additional videos over here. And this is the comment section, right? And then there's little metadata right here. All right. So a couple of things that are important about YouTube. Number one, there's two different types of ads, right? The first type of ad is based on getting people off YouTube. All right. That's the only type. When you go into YouTube, they're going to ask you, which one of these do you want? I forget the name of these. And then the second one is called discovery. There's a use case for it, but as a direct response marketers, we don't want to use discovery ads. Discovery ads are basically paid video views. So if you're a YouTuber and you're starting to start a cooking channel, you want to do discovery ads, because what they're going to do is they're going to get you more advertising. They're going to get you more exposure for your actual video. But you're not looking to get people off YouTube. You're looking to get subscribers, right? So that you can earn Google revenue and build engagement and build a community and build your channel. So that's not us. We're not looking to build a channel. We're looking for views. All right. So when you get views here, you're getting people off of YouTube and into your funnel, right? All right. So that, what we just said before, is you can get not only anybody that is searching, that's one thing that you can do, but you can also advertise based on channel. And you can also advertise based on pages visited anywhere on the web. Now you say to yourself, what are you saying? I can literally say if somebody has been to ClickFunnels.com or ClickFunnels, this particular page, ClickFunnels.com/login, because then I know it's a ClickFunnels user, that I could advertise my video here in a pre-roll. Yes. So I can get a pre-roll video. You've all seen that, right? It's the video that has the skip ad right here, right? I can get a video right here if somebody is typing in something like keyword funnel builder, or best funnel builder, or ClickFunnels versus lead pages. Now, there are hundreds of thousands of videos out there on lead pages, ClickFunnels, WordPress, whatever the case may be. The amount of advertising I could buy, I would need an infinite budget to, and the thing is, I would reach the people multiple times. Like I would have already reached them. The point is that you can reach every single one of the people that you're looking for on YouTube. So what we're going to have is a strategy that says, okay, first of all, every single video at, now here's something of interest. You cannot stop video advertisements showing on your videos that you post on YouTube. It's impossible. They will always put an ad. So I can literally say, and I'm using ClickFunnels, right? But it won't be just ClickFunnels. It'll be Kajabi. It'll be ActiveCampaign. It'll be Infusionsoft and Keep. And every single channel for my competitors, I'm going to be able to have a video that shows up here with a skip ad. I will also be able to say if they visited any of these sites out there or specific pages. Now you say to yourself, how in the world does that work? Well, you got to remember, what does every single company have on their website? They have Google Analytics, right? And so Google knows that you've been to this site. Google Analytics is tracking you. You don't even have to be in a Chrome browser. The Google Analytics tags you to your IP address, to your device. And guess what else? You're logged into Gmail. So they know everything about you, not just a cookie. They will hard code it. So you can do it based on visitors, channel, or one that I should probably put right here. Imagine it was here. It's a particular video, right? Or videos with these keywords, which would affect the search. So I could go in and I could find, I don't know what's going on with this particular video, but a month ago it had 13 million views. 2 months ago it had 9 million views. 3 months ago it had 8 million views. This thing's getting several million views a month. And regardless of what is in the video, people that would be interested in watching this video would be interested in my product. So that's really good for you if you're in health and wellness or whatever the case may be. You can find a video. Ellen Collier says, mind mapping. Elaine, how are you? I always learn something new when Mike gets on the whiteboard. Thanks, Elaine. Elaine was in our Groovathon a couple of weeks ago. The amount of data that Google has on us, in my opinion, is stronger than Facebook. They have all the search intent. They know everything that you're typing into the search engines. They know everything that you're typing into YouTube. So they can get into your head more. Facebook doesn't know what you're typing. They know what you click on, and they know what you put into your profile. And yes, they follow you around the internet, and I'm sure they're pretty strong. But the bottom line is, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you want to get in front of the right audience, Facebook is so easy. You can get it through what they're searching, and it doesn't even matter if they're searching, then you've committed to getting in front of here. Or any video that has these meta tags or keywords or title descriptions, any page that they've visited, so you can start saying all of your competitors' websites and everything like that, or a particular YouTube channel. So imagine, if you will, for a minute, the amount of videos on ClickFunnels that say ClickFunnels review. I could now have a commercial in front of every single video for ClickFunnels review, or ClickFunnels demo, or whatever the case may be. I can do the same for ActiveCampaign. I can do the same for Shopify. I can do the same for Kajabi, Thinkific, Teachable, Aweber, GetResponse, Review, Demo, versus this company versus this company. It doesn't matter. I would never have enough budget to get in. And then later you go and you optimize and you say, oh, this particular versus this is working for us, so we're going to put more money into this. And we thought this one would work, the ClickFunnels demo, but it's not, because they're already a ClickFunnels customer. ClickFunnels review is working better because people type in review because they are wondering whether they could buy it. And then now you can obviously have one generic ad to get started, but I want you to consider what can happen if you have extremely targeted ads for that particular video. So if it was ClickFunnels versus lead pages, right? And we said, oh, this is working. Let me shoot a quick little intro, what we call a front bumper, to the meat of the video. So what I have here is a 4-minute video, right? And now all I've got to do is start recording front bumpers that I attach to this, where the meat of the story is here, and here is the intro. So for this particular video, it's somebody typed in lead pages versus ClickFunnels. So I have a video that starts with, are you looking to compare the differences between lead pages and ClickFunnels? Well, the smartest users in the world have found there's a third one that you should be looking at, and it's called Groove. And at that point, I might even call it GrooveFunnels, because I know they're looking for a funnel builder. Do you know that with Groove, you could do this and blah, 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 blah. And by the way, it's all free. All you've got to do is go over to groove.cm for them. And not only that, we also give you the ability to, and then we list off our 15 apps, right? That's right here. And not only that, right? So I've got the front bumper, and then it says a punch into me. And not only that, and now we give you GrooveSell, Groove Affiliate, and this is the same. And now I want to compete against Samcart. I do a front bumper. Are you looking for a shopping cart solution or something that does one-click upsells? You're probably considering Samcart. Before you click that skip ad button, let me tell you what the smartest marketers in the world are using right now and why everybody's making the switch. Groove allows you to do that. Not only that, it has mail, blah, 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 blah. You are getting people when they're searching. Or if they just saw this ad in the feed, if they clicked on it, you've already said, I want to attach this channel or this video or anything with those meta tags. So you're going to be getting in front of the perfect audience. There's a little thing here where they could click. You will automatically get your banner right up here. So this will follow them around, even if they click the skip ad. And here's what I want you to know. Many of you are going to say, I had no idea about this. Check this out. You only pay if they see after 30 seconds. So your ad is free from 0 to 29 seconds if they click skip ad. Could you imagine the amount of branding that you're getting, right? We've got our little song, I'm grooving, yes I am, and all this type of stuff. Hi, I'm Mike Filsaime, I'm John Cornetta, blah, blah, blah. Today we want to tell you, skip ad. Next time you go to another video. Have you logged into Groove lately? Groove is the fastest growing, skip ad. Next time. Are you looking to do email marketing? Yes, Groove is the one for you. And not only that, it's free, skip ad. I'm getting free advertising, not somebody scrolling through a muted video. I'm getting Groove in front of every one of my customers, and then we're going to show up at an event. Everybody's going to be like, you guys are everywhere. Of course, because we're saying if you're interested in any of these different platforms out there, or if you're interested in digital marketing, e-commerce, ebooks, all these different things, we're going to find you, and imagine you doing this for your business. And we're getting all of these millions of ad views going in, skip ad, that we're not paying for. But here's what happens. We can tag at what point you skip the ad, and now we can now retarget you on Facebook. Yes, I can retarget you through what's known as an ad network. So if you interact with this video, I can now still have your ad show up in Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and all websites on the web. That's an ad network. Simply by what happens here. So do you understand? You don't even need Facebook anymore. You can't even scale with Facebook. They get paranoid when they start shutting you down. You don't have those problems with YouTube, okay? And everybody goes to YouTube. I think the stats are that 80% of all human beings on the planet, 80% of all human beings on the planet between the age of 18 and 49 watch YouTube at least once per month. Watch YouTube at least once per month. 80% of the planet. So you can start dialing it down and saying, no, I only want it with people with this income level, with in the United States or in Canada or English-speaking countries, whatever. You can shrink up the demographic to that's more optimization that comes later. But if they interact here, even if they skip ad, you can retarget them all over. So now you can imagine, wow, I don't know, because I've identified this is the right person based on what time they skip the ad. The other thing is, let's say my video is 3 minutes and they don't hit skip ad. Think of all the skip ads you guys do. That's free advertising to the people that are there. And if they don't, after 39 seconds, okay, I pay for the ad, but guess what? You're watching the video now and you're gonna watch my full 3-minute video, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm getting free branding if you're skipping the ad, and if you don't skip the ad, we get the full message out. There's a banner over here of your company that you get to upload, and a little thing here where they could click and they could get out. And you've got your call to action going. So just go to groove.cm right now to get your free account, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so YouTube is, we think is, when you look at it like this, and by the way, all the credit goes to Alaric Heck, and you could Google Alaric Heck webinar if you want to see a presentation that breaks this out a little bit more. If you've ever been a little bit worried about Facebook and found it too complicated, what I just showed you isn't complicated. You can say, I want to be on this video, I want to be on this channel, I want to be anybody that's typing in this review or my competitor or all these different things, or has these interests, or types in best way to lose weight, best way to whatever the case is, and you have a little video. Obviously, you need to do video production. There's a lot of different ways that you could do it. You could hire an influencer that's a YouTuber because they know stuff, and you can just say, hey, would you like, and they're in the industry, so they, health and wellness, you might say to somebody, hey, can I pay you to create a video for me? Or you don't have to be a talking head. You don't have to be, hi, I'm Mike Filsaime. You can have a video that just starts on slides. You can get your presentation in front of people. So that's pretty interesting. We're going to head back over to the studio, get some feedback from John, Joe, and Brian Bagnall. All righty. Ooh, I hear myself in my ear again. That sounds strange. All right. John, obviously, you and I met with Alaric's team, paid them a very pretty penny. We're going to be working with them for the next 6 months. They're not an agency. They're not a done-for-you company. They're a done-with-you company. And they basically make you watch a course, and until you do, you can't get on the phone with them, and then they help you write your ads and do your videos, and they've set up your ads for you, and they have you put this in and everything like that. And then the first 2 months is YouTube. The next month is retargeting for Facebook. The next month is retargeting for LinkedIn, then Pinterest. And when you're done, you have an omnipresence thing, and they basically set you up. And then they say goodbye, and they don't get any of your money or any of your revenue or anything, everything. So you don't have to pay an agency 10% of your ad spend. They literally teach you a done-with-you solution. And we found this just to be, one of what we think is going to be one of the best things for us. So what do you think about what that's going to be able to do for our growth?
Yeah, I have a question that I need to find out the answer to, and I'm wondering if YouTube allows your pixel to drop in the first 30 seconds or not, or if they have to watch it past the first 30 seconds for your pixel to drop. And that's a question, an interesting question.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got to remember, when you do the omnipresent advertising, you're doing it through the Google display network.
Right.
So yeah. So they're going to be happy to give you the data so that they can get you spending money, because
so it's going to be everyone.
Yeah, right. That's my point. Right.
Yes,
So you little more light bulbs started going off again. Like I forget every time until we talk about it, my mind starts going, oh my God, how could we not find the right customer? They're literally typing in Sam card versus pay Kickstart. Okay. This person is looking for a shopping cart.
Right.
They're looking to make a change. And no matter what video shows up, based on that search term, any video that they pick in that feed is going to show our ad. if we have the ad budget, right? Obviously, but we're going to say we want to spend this much money. We will get that much money every single day. And then you go in, you're like, we got a lot of leads off of this one. Very interesting. Samcard versus Kickstart is working, but Samcard versus ThriveCard just not even working. All right, forget that one. Add more money to this one. That's the intelligence. Brian, curious your thoughts after Mike. Oh, there we go. After seeing, let me see, is my switcher working there on the peanut gallery? There we go. What were your thoughts? Did that give you some ideas for your type of business?
Yeah, I've been playing around with YouTube a little bit. I haven't put a whole lot of effort into it, but yeah, targeting specific videos. I think that's where where it's at with YouTube.
Or even search, because there you can type in search, like you can. What if somebody is typing in something along the lines of what would they type in with bad credit? What would they type in?
Owner financing, house for sale, owner financing, something like that. So,
with bad credit.
Well, yeah, we don't really have problems finding buyers, though. The sellers, I mean, not that we have problems.
The sellers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's who I should have asked.
Yeah, we advertise, our houses are sold in like 2 to 3 weeks, just on Zillow and just a couple for sale banner sites. But yeah, sellers.
How to sell your house for cash without a realtor?
Yeah, how to sell your house fast, something like that.
Yeah, fast, yeah. But you said you've been playing around with it a little bit.
With the video end of things, with the search, honestly, I just made an assumption that those search terms are really expensive. And not that it's an issue.
No,
I mean, obviously we have the customer value, but I'm still kind of a cheap ass sometimes.
Yeah, no. YouTube advertising very different than pay-per-click.
True.
Yeah, very, very different. Especially what we're finding. And the whole skip ad thing is. I
didn't know that 30-second thing. That's really cool.
So if you get your, you have one of those companies with a name like we. What's the name of your company? Your URL?
PropDaddy.com.
Yeah, PropDaddy.com, right? And I know when I drive on the Florida Turnpike, I always see something like WeBuyUglyHouse.com or We Buy Ugly Houses. So you can imagine, you just say, "Are you looking to sell your house? PropDaddy.com can get you your house and get you cash in 24 hours. Skip ad, right? You just got free branding, and that guy might just say." And I know this has happened to me a couple of times. I hit skip ad and I'm like, ooh, he just said something interesting. Yeah. And then I go to the website and I type it in and that's free traffic for you at that point. You don't pay for it. So you get the branding out there up front. It's pretty cool. So, and I think this camera is a little too close. I was looking, I was like, damn. By the way, I have put on 20 COVID pounds and you could see it. It's all over. It's got that jolly face there. Yeah. So we're going to zoom that out. When I saw that before, I said, I'm not using that camera anymore. So what we're going to be doing with Groove, and then we'll be wrapping up this podcast, is we're going to be going away from the lifetime, and that's ending with our Black Friday sale. And we're going to instantly flip the switch on December 11th to $299 a month. And there's no way that you could get people for $299 a month unless they know exactly what they're buying. And we've said this for a while. Groove for the last 2 years has been marketing an offer attached to software, and now we have to graduate and we have to sell software, right? So what we're doing is wait, stop, get access lifetime. It's a deal, it's a deal, it's a deal. Flashing lights, countdown timers, never make another payment again. That's an offer. And it's like, and why do they buy it? Because it's an offer. And the proof in the pudding is they haven't even seen the software. They're just saying, well, lifetime sounds good. I haven't even logged into the software and I'm going to give you $1,997. That's not going to work for $299 a month because what's the deal? There's no deal. You're paying us forever, just like you do ClickFunnels, Infusionsoft, Kajabi, Samcart. So at that point, we're going to have a site at groove.cm, which is going to be very similar to like Kartra. And you're going to learn everything about Groove, video, screenshots, GIFs, you name it. Like, and if you look at a website like Pay Kickstart, they have like 18 pages, and that's just like GrooveSell. So groove.cm, and if you click on GrooveSell, we could sub that out into 18 pages just like they do. And then we have to do it the same way ActiveCampaign has 20 pages because we have all those different things. So it's going to be a massive project. But if somebody's looking for GetResponse, Aweber, MailChimp versus ActiveCampaign or whatever, we can be in front of that video, drive them to these pages, and I believe that next year, because of our advertising on YouTube and the fact that everybody, like Mark Link says, how come nobody knows about Groove? It's like you can't find out until you build out a funnel. Like even signing up for free, unless you go through the wizard, you don't really get to know what everything does. There's no outside publishing. So when we get that out into the world and do this YouTube campaign, I really think it's going to be a real hockey stick year for this company. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm excited. I agree. Just kind of had me there at the hockey stick because I know what those hockey sticks look like during launch time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just thinking that really people only have to find one product to replace to make the $299 a value. Like, right? Like my AWeber bill back in the day was like $499 a month because I had so many, leads in there. So they really only need to find one Groove product that makes sense for them to make the whole $299 like it's a no-brainer.
But you could go to groove.cm, log into your account, and get lifetime access for just 2 payments of $999, or 1 payment of $1997, or 3 payments of $699. Log into groove.cm and just click on the pink button if you haven't upgraded. The lifetime offer is ending. And if you don't have an account, go to groove.cm because customers matter. Joe, we haven't heard much from you today. What are your thoughts about what we just, remember I told you the other day when I tell you what we're doing with YouTube, but like I need a half hour to explain it. We don't always have that time. We've got a lot of different things to talk about.
Well,
What did you think about that?
well, I'm a big YouTube. I watch YouTube. I watch YouTube a lot. I don't really watch TV much. So I see those ads. So I actually watch them ads, and sometimes it takes me elsewhere. So definitely, I think it's going to be huge, and a lot more people are getting onto YouTube for answers and other.
Let me ask you a question. Do you
everything's
watch
hooked up
YouTube
there.
on your TV?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm the same way. People that know me, if you ever walk into the room, I've got my Apple TV, remote, and every TV is a smart TV, and all I watch is YouTube. I was just at Cocoa Beach, Florida, the other day, and now they have these smart TVs. Log into your Netflix, Pandora, and YouTube. Now when I go in, put the code in on my phone, and I'm watching my videos right there. And if you were to ask me how much time in percentage I watch on YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, iTunes, all those different things, it's 80% of my time is on
It's
YouTube.
about me too.
And then the 20% is the rest. And you're the same?
Oh, pretty much. It's Rosie's like, why are you always watching? I say it has all the answers.
They know.
And that's where I go.
Yeah.
If I type in something, it gives me an ad of,
Not
and
only that, here, what I'm going to ask you, Joe, they know who you are. What else you get? Oh, I need to watch this. I need to watch. What are the other things that that you get sucked into?
it's just so much, because every time it always says, well, you should watch this video and this video. And the advertising, it's following me. So it's big. And Groove comes up because I watch a lot of stuff, see what the competition
Yeah,
is.
you
and
see our
stuff like
commercials
that.
there.
Yeah, and I'm like, we're everywhere.
Yeah, I have YouTube Premium, so I don't see
That's
ads.
why I don't have premium.
Yeah, I'm
actually.
probably going to get rid of Premium just so I can
See
make
your
sure our
own
ads.
You
yeah.
can skip them. It's 30
Yeah.
seconds, or I go get something
Please-
to eat or a drink.
Please, everybody, skip the ads. Skip our ads. If you.
29 seconds.
Oh, and we can also do things like upload a list of everybody that already has. But I don't even think it's bad. It's a bad thing to even advertise to your members that are paying $2.99, because they're constantly seeing you and seeing a good value. So I think sometimes it's like when you hear a Geico commercial, it almost reinforces. I'm saving
Brand
you.
reinforcement.
Yeah, exactly. Brand reinforcement. Great point. Yeah. So John, do you watch YouTube?
Yeah, not as much as my kids.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. Yeah. There's legislation going in place. They're trying to put in.
Oh, big time.
To stop any type of advertising and tracking to kids. But again, nothing wrong if you do have, a good,
Yeah, my kids don't watch TV.
just all YouTube.
It's all YouTube, 100%.
A lot of people spend
And
time
the younger
on
they
Facebook.
are.
Not me. I'm 10%. If
Yeah.
that.
Facebook gives me anxiety. I'm not even kidding. Like, Brian's laughing over there, but for me, no joke, Facebook gives me anxiety when the climate and everybody's opinion. I can understand the appeal of Instagram. Everybody's, hey, I'm over here, I'm traveling, and check this out. And if I see a Facebook with posts, I'm like, I'm just trying to get to groove.cm, the official group. I really don't want to know everybody's opinion. And then seeing my friends fighting, and with all due respect, I didn't actually say that. If you read my post, I'm like, oh my God, it's just the talking about it gets me. So I make 4 posts a year on Facebook, and obviously we engage.
You're a lot less than
inside.
me.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's the anxiety. It's the anxiety. I don't even do Facebook Messenger. I say to myself, if you know me, then you know how to reach me. And if not, we have our personal assistant goes. No, you do your own Facebook Messenger, right?
Yeah.
That's the main reason I'm on Facebook. Is
You have to.
because affiliates.
You have to, right?
I have to.
Your communications guy.
Other than that,
Unless I get a
No.
bad message.
Yeah.
If I get a bad message, then I reply, "Hi, this is
Yeah.
John's assistant."
John instructed me to tell you, get a life.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's kind of amazing. I was thinking the other day, like I don't text at all. Like I sent you a text today, but that's probably the one.
That's all I do is text.
Oh yeah. I don't
Yeah.
text
And when
at all.
people that have my text send me a Facebook message, I'm almost like, why would you risk me missing this? Like
Yeah.
everybody texts. Tell me why you do that. You're not the only one. You're the
It's
the
just
majority.
evolved that way. Yeah. I mean, it's not that. I mean, I love texting, but I do it on WhatsApp and I do it on
Well,
Facebook
you
Messenger.
were also living in Costa Rica, which meant that you had to be a little bit more international, and so I know that everybody that I know that's international is WhatsApp.
True. I love the voice notes though. And with text, if they don't have an iPhone, you can't do the voice notes. I love to communicate via voice notes. So I try to get everybody on WhatsApp that I
Do not ever send me a voice note. You want to?
It's funny. That's the thing I hate the most.
Yeah. If and all of a sudden I look in and I see 2 minutes 49 seconds, 2 minutes because it's 2.5 minute limit. 2 minutes 49 seconds, 2 minutes 49 seconds, 1 minute. I'm like, are you kidding? And you know what happens with that stuff? Like you have to keep tapping the screen because if you don't, the screen times out, and then you got to go back and you can't. There's no scrub bar, and it's like,
And same
why
thing on
didn't you
Facebook.
just do a voice to text? Say the same thing. Do a voice to text. I can read through it in a minute.
Yeah, same thing on Facebook Messenger. And then on Facebook Messenger, they leave you audio messages and you have to be on speaker, which means
Yeah.
you can't listen to it privately.
Yeah.
So you're in the room, you're like, okay, let's see what this person's going to say.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, please send me text messages, Brian. I'm not a big fan of voice memos. You know who's really big into voice memos?
No.
Brother, Alex Jeffries' brother.
Oh, yes.
my goodness, Alex will send me 11-minute things, and I'm like, call me. I've got 19 things. You know what happened to me one day? I was on a call. I was on a voice memo, and I think it was Alex, and it was going on for so long, and I'm cooking. And I got my phone like this, and as I'm cooking, and I said, "Yeah, but here's what you're missing. Let me finish. Let me say something." And it was a voice memo, and I thought I was talking. And I said, "Will you let me say something?" And I started screaming, and I realized, oh my goodness, I'm listening to a voice memo.
But don't you find we don't talk on the phone much, but last time we did, I know it was like a 2-hour phone conversation, which I enjoy, obviously. But
No, you don't. Nobody likes
No,
it.
I
I'm
no,
kidding.
I do. I
Once
really
a
do.
year, I like to catch up.
Yeah, but it's like, you had things to do and it's like, 2 hours just went away. And,
Yeah.
and that happens a lot with phone calls.
yeah.
So phone calls are my least favorite.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of calls unless it's with staff. It seems to be a lot of text these days. And if something's got to get done, it's by appointment. You know what happened yesterday? Nick Perzichelli, we've been playing phone tag and everything like that. And forgive me for what I'm about to say. Because the number came in, he must have had a new number or something. And I'm not trying to be elitist or big-headed in any way. I just think this is the way things have evolved. When my phone rings, I get this weird thing like, why are you calling me without texting me first?
Absolutely.
Am I the only one? How do you
No.
how do you feel about that, John? When somebody I'm almost like that's a violation that you should know we're all busy right now. So, and I know it's silly to say, hey, what are you doing? Can we talk? I like to say,
get it.
I'm free at 2:00. Yeah, I find it very strange when I'm not talking like you or me. I'm talking like somebody you haven't spoken to in 2 years just calls you out of the blue.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I'm not. I had
You need
affiliates.
permission.
They just call me out of the blue, and I'm like, unfortunately, I can't take the call.
Yeah.
Let's set a time.
Yeah, yeah. And Brian, you got
Yeah, they need permission, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
like, are you free for a call?
But it's funny with you or Matt, I usually will say, hey guys, you got a second for a call?
yeah.
Because I know that you're busy and I know
Right.
that you're doing things and I want to, I don't want to just,
I
I don't
always
want to
do
be
that,
that
yeah.
person that just kind of interrupts. So
Yeah. And so Nick, I answered the call and I was like, hey, he's like, hey, buddy. And I said, hey, and I was on a meeting with the team. I said, hey, I'm on a call with my team, but I saw it come in. Can we schedule a time? And now we're playing a little bit of phone tag. But anyway, so I think that's been about maybe a little more than an hour, hour 15. I think that's good enough for a podcast. We'll be doing these every Thursday, sometime between 12 and 1. We're going to get a fixed time soon. We're going to come up with a name for the podcast. We'll have different guests in the studio from time to time. Rich Sheffrin lives nearby. John Garcia and the company lives nearby. Donna's going to be flying in on Saturday. She'll probably make next week's. We have Tom
Matt.
Beal. We have Matt Seralta. Obviously, we have people in the studio. People in the company that can dial in virtually because we're using streaming technology. But this is what we're going to be doing. So do us a favor. A couple of things I want to get some data. List your top 3 platforms and percentages that you watch. For instance, Netflix, 75%, Hulu, 10%, YouTube, 5%, or YouTube, 50%, Netflix, 25%, Hulu, 25%. Give me the top 3. It doesn't have to add up to 100 because it may only be, you might watch 5 or 6 different platforms like HBO Max and Disney, but list the top 3 in a percentage. I'm really curious. I'm not going to ask you to put your name, but I would guarantee that the younger you go, the higher the percentage is going to be for YouTube. And also, let us know what you thought about this, more of a fly on the wall. We're just talking. This is the type of stuff we talk about anyway when we're just hanging out. If you enjoyed that with a little bit of marketing and whiteboard as those things come up, give us ideas on what you'd like to see in the podcast. And by all means, if you say no, you want it to be all related to marketing. And today we're only going to be talking about, the different types of funnels and stuff like that. Or if you like the more relaxed stuff in the middle of the day, once a week, to kind of just hang out with some friends, let us know. We want to give you what you want. We can obviously do any of those. All of those things are fun for us. And we're not looking to find out what's good for us and make you like it. Whatever you guys give us feedback, and obviously it's going to be different. We're going to get your feedback and put that in. So John, little final words before we leave?
No, I think it's great. And I think even maybe a question or two from time to time might not be a bad thing to take and keep us on our toes. And
yeah, I think that, do us a favor. Any questions that you want for us for the next podcast, we'll try to get 3 to 4 questions in, because each question is going to take 5 to 10 minutes.
get them in advance.
Yeah, we'll get them in advance. So we'll try to get to 3 questions every podcast. Brian, great having you here. You sticking around? You going to do lunch or something?
Yeah, for a little bit. I thought of maybe a good name for it just came to me. I don't know. You can say it's, but Groovin' with the Gang.
Groovin' with the Gang. I like that.
You can throw that away.
I like that. I'm being polite.
That's fine. No, it's off the cuff.
Joe, we've got a launch coming up. We got a launch coming up on Black Friday. I just shot a video for it. I'm not sure if it's up at GrooveJV.com. It will be. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we're going to wrap up.
Well, that's going to take on November 26th is on the Friday,
Yeah,
Black
Black Friday.
and we're going to go for 2 weeks from that date. So this is one of our first ones that are going to end on a Friday night, right?
Friday.
Yeah, it's going to be on December 10th that we're going to end. Lots of prizes.
Lifetime offer is ending forever.
absolutely.
That's a big thing. Lots of prizes.
Everyone, affiliates contact me like, what can I say that's going to get them? I'm like, well, listen, they're going to monthly.
Yeah.
But that $13.97 is going. But
Well,
$19.97 is still an incredible. I think we're giving it away at $19.97.
yeah,
honestly.
I'm even thinking, no promises to anybody. Haven't spoken to any of the partners, but probably letting the cat out of the bag if we were to do it, because it would only be on the last day. So keep my mouth shut. But I'm thinking of maybe even having something like an offer, and don't expect it. We all have to talk about it. Might be a bad idea. Of during that launch, doing something like $2.99 a month for 12 months. So in other words, we have another offer. So it's like you can get it for $19.97, folks. It's lifetime. Or you can get it for 3 payments of $6.99, or you can get it for 2 payments of $9.99. Now, look, if you're the type of person that right now only has $299 a month, here's the deal we'll make with you. You could pay $299 a month every month from now until the end of time, or you can just pay $299 a month for 12 months. So I was thinking how that might actually tie into the $299 a month. It's going to $299. Why not pay for 12 months instead, and put that in their mind, and we can get people that might not be able to afford the higher price. What do you think of that, by the way?
I was thinking Podzilla. Podzilla.
Oh, Podzilla for the podcast. All right, everybody. That's it. We'll see you next week. We hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to go back into the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. I'm going to read every single comment because I'm really curious how this was. And give us some name ideas for the podcast as well. And we'll see you next podcast. Take care. Groovesters. Bye-bye.